Well, hello everyone. Today I'm going to be installing a TMR track bar bracket. Basically, I'm going to cut off the stock bracket right there for the track bar and then put it where those bolts are, if you can see that. I mean, you get some light in there. Anyway, the reason I'm doing this is because my track bar is not as long as my drag link. So, in order to fix that, I'm going to put the TMR bracket on, which moves it forward about 1 3/4 inches and then moves it out, makes your track bar longer by about 1 3/4 inches. I'm also going to straighten up some RAM assist lines and some other stuff there. But that's the biggest reason why I got the anti-rocks, is because normal Rubicon or Wrangler sway bar will not clear with that bracket because it sticks out here where these bolts are. So anyway, we will be getting going on, and I'm going to do a time lapse for it. So, alrighty. Okay, now that I got the tire off, you can get a better view of what I'm doing here. I'm going right there for that track bar mount. I've got the track bar unbolted, tire off. Oh, look, coilover, Dana 60. Ooh, big V8. So, what I'm going to be doing is pulling the track bar completely off. I got to go all the way up there and all that mess. And I got to pull it out because I got to extend that thing. And then I'm going to cut this bracket off and probably have to undo this anti-rock just to give myself some room to work with. So I'm going to put it back on time lapse, and we're going to and get this knocked out. It'll be quick for you guys, but it'll take a little bit of time for me. Okay, so I got a lot of stuff broken down. What we're doing here, we're looking at the original mount. See how it's going to interfere with my differential. In fact, it's actually already hit it several times. And yeah, I could add more bump stop, but I'm already right there. And so when I took the track bar off, it actually had a bit of a bind to it. So it needed to be moved forward, because this axle is pushed forward about 1.5 inches, 2 inches anyway. And so it's going to line up with those holes right there. And then it's going to move the track bar forward and then out this way. So it should clear up a lot of things. And I also got to reroute some of my hydro assist line. You can see it right there. That one's been rubbing on something and chewing up. So I got to fix all that and then go from there. Anyway, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a bear to get this thing cut off because there's a lot of spots that I can't reach. I'm probably going to have to drag out the dangerous high lift and get the thing in the air so I can dodge around some of this stuff. So anyway, I'm going to get back to it. Put you back on time lapse here in a minute. Okay, so got a lot of it ground off, cleaned up, a little bit of prep work done. I'm about ready to weld it on. The bracket, if any of you are watching this video as sort of like a how-to, I'm not really giving you direction, just chop it off and put this one on in place. It lines up with these bolts like that. There's one of them that's got a little notch like that. You can kind of see it right there. Whereas this other one, the other side, does not. Now the notch side, you can see right there, there's a little bit of a lip there. So the notch side goes in like that, and you can kind of see how it kind of goes in like so. See where it notches. I apologize for the bad angles and lighting. I'm not a photographer or videographer or any other ographer. I'm just tree mechanic or garage mechanic or whatever you want to call me. So basically these both are going to go in like that, and then you got this over top piece here that goes over this and essentially will give you your bolt holes lined up like so, touch in, and then it'll reinforce itself. That way you can still access your steering box. And looks like I got a little too close to that bolt, but it should be fine. Anyway, yeah, I probably should have pulled those bolts out and made it a lot easier for me most likely, but I did not do that. My mistake is your advantage. Also, a lot of people might be wondering, I didn't explain it clearly enough earlier as to why I'm actually doing this. Yes, I did explain it's going to hit the pumpkin here. I did explain it's going to move the track bar from here over to here, and since I have my axle pushed forward. But another thing is actually going to extend my track bar. See, my drag link when I put the Dana 60 in is longer. So anytime the axle goes down, you want your drag link and track bar to be as equal length as possible. That will prevent bump steer when you're articulating. And this actually has a little bit of bump steer when I'm driving on the highway. It'll drift a little bit to, I believe it would be to the right. And especially when I hammer down on the throttle after putting the V8 in it, I can really feel it. It's not a lot, and so I'm doing this, and then with that little bit of extension, it should be really close to the same length. It won't be exactly the same, but it'll be a lot better than it was before. Be a lot more controllable with that 420 horsepower that I got on my L86. So anyway, for those of you that are really wondering about that, if you do a 1-ton swap and you don't have the drag link and the track bar in the same length, then you're going to have bump steer. And also, you're probably going to have axle collision issues if you use a later 89 to pre Super Duty 60 ball joint or kingpin style 60s out of a Ford, or I think the Super Duty and the 99 to current, the pumpkin is just close, so you're going to have the short distance, so it is going to interfere with your track bar mount if you push it forward at all. And you can actually see right here, right there, you can see where I've actually collided running through the bumps and stuff. And I've done everything I could to push my air bumps all the way down. I need to put more spacer on here anyway, because it's going to start colliding and hitting AC lines and stuff like that with my V8 swap. So I just got to do a stuff up and then readjust my bump stop and then go from there. But anyway, that's a good little verbal on what's going on here. I'm going to go ahead and work on getting this thing welded in place. I'm going to put probably one of my impact sockets on the bolts there to use an alignment. I've also got the old end of this track bar was really wore out, so I'm going to use that for the spacing. I'm going to run the bolt through the two halves here, and then I'm going to use that to get my spacing correct. I'm also going to verify that it's the same spacing with my replacement end. That way I can not weld it too tight. A little bit loose is alright, because you can always clamp that down, but having too tight, you're going to have to grind on the inside or bend tabs or some other things that just shouldn't need to be doing if you're paying attention to what you're doing when you're doing the install. So anyway, if you guys do have any other questions, feel free to comment down below. I am pretty responsive. I will get back to you as soon as I can. I don't mind answering questions for pretty much anything out there. It's just I won't know to answer your questions until you ask me. Anyway, we're going to get back to the time lapse. Okay folks, so I've got it all cut out. Now, I'm not a welder. I don't claim to be one, and I never will. I can weld, not the best in the world. You probably can see from a distance my welds are not the best. Vertical ups are always the hardest to do, but vertical ups is the strongest. I could probably do a vertical down, make it look better, but it wouldn't be as strong. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and get a coat of paint, just some cheap dollar can Walmart spray paint, and get this thing all painted up, and while it's still hot, that way it'll dry really quick. So I will tune you in for the next part. Turns out the replacement joint I had was the wrong type of joint, so I'm going to have to reuse the Heim end of my track bar that is wore out until I can get either another track bar or find what the proper length is. So that's kind of weird. Synergy changed things up, so I may be going with a custom made track bar here soon. We shall see. I do want to comment that where I'm out in Oregon, it's supposed to hit 109 today. I don't know why I'm out here doing it. All I've got is a little rotating small fan sitting on my washing machine, and it's doing something, but oh, my clothes looks like I just got out of the shower. Okay folks, I pretty much got this wrapped up for today. that's about all I'm going to do on this. I'm going to finish bolting it up. And then track bar was not as I was told it was. It was actually 1.25 inch solid DOM. And I had a 1.5 inch tubing. So I'm going to have to order a cut to fit new kit, which will also take care of my worn out Heim problem. So anyway, stay tuned for that. I'll be doing a video for that and all that sort. But for now, I'm going to get the sway bar put back on. I'm going to get the tire on this so I can measure side to side and get that thing adjusted right. And if any of you watching this, you probably know already how to do that. So I'm not going to bore you with those details, but this is how she looks. Welding, not the best, as I said before. I'm not exactly a welder, but you get your general idea. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. And check back later for future content. I'm just getting going on this. Well, see you later for now.